I was at a friend's house one night when I fell asleep on the couch. Woke up a bit later and realized it was time for me to go home. Got up and noticed my buddy's light on in his room, but the door was shut. Walked by the door and told him I was leaving because I had to work in the morning. He said, "Yep, see ya." Went to the fridge to grab my drink. Walked back by his room and said, "Later, dude." He said, "Yep." Something didn't seem legit. It didn't sound quite like him, so I opened the door. No one there. No one in the house. Went outside and his truck was gone. I freaked out. Called his cell and he said he had left to go to McDonald's 15 minutes earlier. I bolted outside and waited for him to get home. He told me the kid that used to live there years ago hung himself in the attic, and ever since he lived there, he has noticed strange things and voices. This was confirmed by the neighbor, the kid's older brother. After that, just about anyone who goes over there has a weird experience. My buddy has dealt with it for years. When it gets weird, he yells out loud, "Leave me alone," and he says the weird vibes stop for a bit, but they always come back. One of my friend's ex-girlfriends swears that one night she was taking a bath in the house, and she had the radio on. She closed her eyes, and all of a sudden she said the radio slowly turned down. She didn't think much of it. It was an old radio, and turned it back up. It went down again. She turned it back up louder. She closed her eyes once more, and she said someone whispered in her ear, "Turn it down." She opened her eyes and saw a guy standing there with black messy hair and glasses. My friend asked his neighbor, the dead kid's brother, if that description was anyone he knew. He went into his living room and brought back a picture of his brother. I'm told by the ex-girlfriend that it was the same person, no doubt. This next story gives me chills. I used to work at a movie theater. It was a crappy, cheap movie theater that got all the movies after they were done at the bigger, nicer theaters. We always joked about a ghost that haunted the place. We would always hear whistling. You could whistle part of a song, and you would hear someone whistle the rest. I kid you not, this happened. We kind of joked about it, and went on with our lives. Well, one day I was up in the projection area, and I heard someone say my name. I yelled back, "What?" No answer. I walked downstairs and asked my coworkers what they wanted. They were slammed busy at the lobby. No one had come upstairs. Fine. Could be explained, right? I'm hearing things, right? Well, here is the freakiest part. My family doesn't celebrate Christmas like most families, so I would always volunteer to work Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I was working the night shift on Christmas Eve alone. I was waiting for 2 or 3 people to get done watching Lord of the Rings or something, so I could go home. After the movie was over, I ran upstairs, stopped the projector, and ran back downstairs to clean the theater. No one else was in the building at this point. Halfway through cleaning the theater, I get this feeling like, wow, I shouldn't be here right now. I look up and see a man-shaped shadow in the projection booth. I ran out of the theater, turned off all the lights, and ran out the door. I turn around and see that there's a neon sign for coffee behind the snack bar that's still on. I work up some courage and run back inside to turn it off. I literally jump over the counter, turn the light off, and jump back to the door. By the time I'm out the door, I turn back around to see the light flickering back on. I ran back in and turned it off again. I turn to my right and see a flash of light come from the middle of the dark lobby. I turned, ran, and never went back. In my childhood home, there was a bathroom in the hallway. If you looked in the mirror while washing your hands, you could see down the hallway toward the front door. At night, I would often see a tall, bald man in a gray suit standing there, out of the corner of my eye. But he would disappear if I looked directly at him or turned around. We moved out of the house, but years later I told my mom about it. Surprised and a little scared, she said she saw the same thing for years. It was a little creepy, but I thought since we both saw the same thing out the mirror in the same spot, it was probably a trick of the reflection. Oddly enough, in a separate conversation with my little brother, he mentioned seeing a man in that hallway all the time. I chuckled and said, "Out of the corner of your eye in the downstairs bathroom mirror?" He said, "No, I would see him at the opposite end of the same hallway, but when looking down from upstairs." What did he look like? He was tall and always wore a gray suit. What's weird is that for years we were all seeking the same man in the same hallway, but just kept our fear to ourselves. Not until half a decade later, after we had moved out of the house, did we realize we had all been experiencing the same thing.